For my project, I researched consumers' privacy rights and laws. My compelling question was first, what type of privacy laws do consumers have, and how are companies violating them? For kids and adults, in the computer/technology side of this problem and solution. After doing just, a tiny bit of research, I changed the question to how are companies creating products designed for consumers by violating privacy laws to protect their invasion of privacy. I learned about this topic through an article I read called How Companies Learn Your Secrets from the New York Times Magazine. This article investigated that Target takes advantage in some brief periods of a person's life where old routines fall apart and then suddenly change their buying habits, and Target capitalizes off of this time to shower that person with ads because people who are going through new experiences are often more vulnerable to buy more items than the average shopper. Target is able to do this because every Target member items are tracked and recorded when shopping, then Target creates ads based on your shopping cart. I wanted to investigate this issue because I wanted to inform others that a lot of companies can track you on their websites and also find information about you on the web. Companies then sell this information to others from their websites or apps. First, in order to answer my question, new laws have to be created. One law should have to restrict companies and set a boundary for how much they can find out about a certain person. Second, the user must be able to turn off websites from tracking users to ensure their safety. Also, the few current laws that do exist, they need to be changed in order for companies to not be able to find loopholes through them. One example is COPPA, which stands for the Child's Online Privacy Protection Act. This law protects children under the age of 13 from websites collecting personal information. COPPA requires sites and services to contact the child's parents to get approval before they collect or disclose the information to other companies. Furthermore, websites should not be able to send personal information to other companies unless they're authorized by the consumer. Also, ads are another way companies trick you into buying and paying more, thus depending on what you are looking up or watching. Ads should be taken away from websites, apps, and even TV. A large problem is you pay money for like a computer or a television, thousands of dollars. Whether you watch YouTube or TV, depending on what you watch, like video games on YouTube, there will be ads for new games to make you buy the game. In conclusion, new laws and pre-existing laws need to be changed to ensure companies don't find ways around them and to make sure that ads don't exist.
Have you ever wondered what Google knows about you? I recently dug through to try to find out what kind of data Google stored on Todd Hazelton, and I was surprised by what I found. The first thing you want to do is go to what's called Google's ad settings page. Typing adsettings.google.com and you'll log into your account, and then you'll see exactly what Google thinks you like. So for example, Google knows that I like American football, books and literature, business news, and more. Google also knows that I'm a male aged between 25 and 34 years old. Next, you're going to go to myactivity.google.com. You're going to see all the activity that Google has on you while you've been using its products. So if you use Chrome web browser, Google search, it's going to show you every website you've visited. Now check this out. Google knows exactly where you've been too, especially if you use Google Maps or if you've searched for places. And you can find that information by going to google.com/maps/timeline. And here you're going to see everywhere you've been, whether it's around the world or around the United States, throughout a specific timeline. And if you zoom in, you can see exactly where you've traveled, which is kind of creepy. Again, Google knows, say you've spent time sitting in a sushi restaurant downtown. It knows you were there. So what does Google know about you? Well, combined, I found that Google was able to find my name, gender, birth date, my personal cell phone numbers, the websites I visited, when I turned my bedroom lights off last, because I use Google Home for that, exactly where I've been over the past couple of years, and it knows every time I've used my voice to interact with Google, whether it was through a cell phone or my Google Home. All in, that's pretty creepy. And you should follow our guide both here and on the website where I wrote how to find out what Google knows about you and limit the data it collects.
For my solution, I wanted to spread awareness of bad privacy rights to hopefully create new laws and change laws in the future, and to inform people on how to stop companies from tracking you. For my solution, I sent out letters to the Senators Brian Schatz and Roz Wyden. Both of them were the producers of the Data Care Act of 2018. This act would help stop websites, apps, and other online providers from using personal information against the user. I then communicated with the organization Tech Freedom and presented my project to them to see if they could help spread awareness. Tech Freedom showed me how to set rules for the future. They said in order to create change, you need rules. Quotes, leave people free to tinker, innovate, and experiment. Rules that unleash ingenuity rather than trying to direct it. Next, I had an online interview with a computer science teacher named Dr. Stam. He currently works at Rose-Hulman Institute of Technology as the head of the cybersecurity team. He previously worked for the Firefox cybersecurity team before he switched jobs. For my final part of my implementation, I created this video to put on YouTube to continue to inform people on online privacy rights. For my artifacts, I first have the 2 letters I used to send to Brian Schatz and Roz Wyden, and the emails I sent. The second is the email I sent to Tech Freedom to present my project to them. The third artifact is a video call I had with Dr. Stam. And finally, the fourth is this YouTube video. During my project, I encountered a few problems. The first problem I had was very difficult to find someone who shared the same passion that I did for online privacy rights. Many of these people who did show the same passion that I did would only receive letters from the public if they were from their state, and none of the people were from Illinois. After I failed to find a good candidate, I then changed how I search for government officials. I then searched for people who were trying to pass online privacy laws, and I found 2 people, Brian Schatz and Roz Wyden. My second problem was I was worried my letters might not be read, so I sent my letters to the multiple government officials to hopefully have a better chance that my letter would be read and in the future create new laws. My final problem was figuring out another way to implement a solution. My first idea was to create an internet thread to hopefully spread the word of unjust privacy laws. After doing some research, I realized that in the time I had for this project, a thread would not work since there would not be enough time for a large amount of people to see it. After finishing this project, I have changed my topic 3 times after doing my research. Since I have done this project, I have learned how companies violate privacy rights and how companies design products for a specific audience by also violating online privacy rights. Now when I am on websites, I notice ads much more often and how Google knows you. After interviewing my expert and working with my organization, I've become better with working in groups, I am better at writing letters, and I am better at being persuasive towards people.